We got our man.
Breaking overnight, the man suspected of shooting 2 police officers at a Dallas Home Depot is now in custody.
And a new parking garage coming to one of the busiest areas in Sarasota. What businesses in St. Armand's say about this new addition straight ahead.
And it's a prom proposal that went viral for all the wrong reasons. The parents of that student are now speaking out what they have to say. We have that story plus your first alert weather and traffic. Good morning, Suncoast starts right now.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Good morning, early risers. Glad you're with us. Wednesday, April 25th. I'm Ray Collins.
Good morning. I'm Stephanie Webb. We are halfway through the week, people.
Good.
That's what's getting me through this morning. We're halfway through the week. We're in the home stretch.
We are on the way, John Scalzi.
Right?
Absolutely. No stopping us now. We're heading there, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice weekend, too. You know, we had thought that maybe there'd be a little bit of rain showers over the weekend, but we're speeding up the timetable just a tad, so weekend looks good. Today looks great. Absolutely fantastic. We got a little bit of fair weather cloudiness across the region. Got a nice moon out there. It's kind of obscured at time by the cloud cover. If you get out there early, you can see it before it sets. Absolutely fantastic day. These clouds will burn off. There's a lot of blue back behind it, and that's what's headed our way today. Plenty of sunshine, and none of the clouds are producing any rainfall, so that's not an issue today. The rains are all well to the south, along with the frontal boundary, which is now exiting the state, the one that yesterday brought us the rain showers. And the day before that, even a tornado, it looks like, in Hillsborough County. So we have, across our region, temperatures that are cooler than they were 24 hours ago by a country mile, really. We're looking at 62 degrees Mayaca, 65 Lakewood Ranch, 64 Bradenton, 67 in Sarasota. That represents about a 7 to 8 degree drop in temperature over the last 24 hours. So headed to a pretty nice day. The reason for that cooler temperature is the lower dew points, which will make the afternoon feel absolutely great. Complete forecast for you in a second.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads right now. First off, Manatee County, so far so good. We'll check back throughout the morning on that. The upper half of Sarasota County, still no red on the map besides one little blip there if you look at University and 301. That's about the extent of it right now. Otherwise pretty clear. At our map to the south of there, in the South County area, our friends down there showing really no problems so far at 5:02 on this Wednesday morning. Dramatic moments in Dallas overnight after the shooting of 2 police officers and a security guard at a Home Depot.
The violence leading to an hours-long manhunt and a wild chase. ABC's Kenneth Gibson has the latest.
We got our man.
A dramatic ending overnight in this hours-long search for a man accused of shooting 2 Dallas police officers. Hours earlier, Armando Juarez allegedly shot the officers and a security guard at a Home Depot. The suspected shooter able to escape the scene, kicking off a massive manhunt. ABC's Marcus Moore was there.
And we saw them searching a wooded area near the Home Depot with dogs also on foot. They were armed, and we saw helicopters low over the horizon searching for any sign of Juarez, who was last seen, police say, in a white pickup truck.
The suspect's truck was eventually spotted well after nightfall. Video shows officers sprinting from the hospital where their colleagues were being treated to join the chase. A source telling our Dallas station Juarez was firing at officers during the pursuit.
It seemed like 100 cop cars just because the curtains were open on the window, so we could see every single cop car that drove by, and they just kept coming and coming and coming.
Juarez was taken into custody more than 5 hours after the shooting at that Home Depot. A violent reminder of the 2016 rampage when a sniper in downtown Dallas killed 5 officers. The emotions from that night still very much raw.
Once again, Dallas is at the precipice, looking into the hell of heartbreak as our police department was attacked this afternoon.
Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Well, back here at home, if you like going to St. Armand's Circle but don't like circling and circling and circling to try and find a place to park, there is some good news. A brand new parking garage is under construction.
Yeah, for years, business owners say shoppers have nowhere to park and wind up going elsewhere to spend money. Marla Spence joins us now from that construction project behind the quadrant near the Columbia restaurant. Marla, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, circling and circling and circling is something people don't want to do. Businesses say a lot of people who come over to this area have issues parking, but they say the parking lot that will sit right here will take care of that issue, and they say that hopefully it'll bring a big boost to their business. Take a look. This is what the new parking garage will look like. It will sit right next to the Sarasota County Fire Department Station 3 on North Adams Drive. The new parking garage will have enough space for 300 cars. Right now, there are 200 parking spaces between on-street parking and another lot. Believe it or not, those parking spaces are not enough, especially during season. The general manager of a St. Armand's business says she is very excited about the new addition. She says oftentimes her customers have a tough time finding a parking spot. With the new garage, they'll be able to park and just walk feet away to the shops and also restaurants.
Anything that is going to make our clients have a better ease of shopping is always good for business. And we're very excited because there's going to be a restroom inside that parking garage, which is even another added bonus.
And those restrooms will be sitting on the first floor of that $12 million parking garage. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thanks, Tara. This morning, Manatee County Sheriff deputies looking for the two men who stole cigarettes from a 7-Eleven in Palmetto. It happened at the store on US 41 about 1:25 a.m. Tuesday morning. The clerk says the men came by an hour earlier, acted suspiciously, and then came back and stole the cigarettes. If you recognize this person, here's a picture of the first man and the second man. You're asked to call Crime Stoppers.
Well, after a year-long investigation, a Suncoast teacher is now behind bars. 25-year-old Quentin Peterson, a former Booker High School teacher, a math teacher, pictured right here, is charged with possession of child pornography. Palmetto police say they investigated Peterson last year for allegations of inappropriate relations with a student from Lincoln Middle School. Now, at the time, he was a teacher there, but he wasn't charged with anything. After a search of his home recently, police removed several cell phones, laptops, and memory cards. They also claim to have found inappropriate sexual images of another student from Manatee County who was 16. Peterson was arrested at Booker High School yesterday.
I just think that basically they should be background checked. They all should have a background check.
He's got to go. He's got to go, but he's got to explain himself. And if he's not willing to explain himself, then he can't get help.
Peterson is now in the Sarasota County Jail where bail is being set at $50,000.
Attorneys for the accused Seminole Heights serial killer asking that his mental health be evaluated. Howell Donaldson's attorneys filed a motion saying they believe their client suffers from mental health issues. He's accused of murdering 4 people in the Seminole Heights neighborhood in Tampa last fall. If he is found incompetent, he could be sent to the state hospital and would delay the case for at least 6 months.
An update now on the student whose prom proposal went viral for all the wrong reasons. His parents have released a statement saying their son will not be going to the prom after all. This after video and pictures of this prom proposal asking for a date went viral after being called racist. School officials are now bringing in counselors to talk to students after the event. District leaders haven't made a decision yet on what the punishment will be that the student will face. They did say, though, he violated the district's electronic media policy, so an announcement on a punishment for that will be made soon. Former Riverview football coach John Sprague is upset about the incident and has been vocal so far with the administration.
It was a direct slap to what their philosophy is. It's not Riverview. It's an individual young man, and to hold a school who's done so much for all their kids, a minority and non-minority, is absurd.
In a statement through their lawyer, the family released a statement apologizing. Happening today, the man accused of opening fire at a Tennessee Waffle House will be in court. He now faces 5 more charges in that shooting. 29-year-old Travis Ranking will now be charged with 4 counts of attempted murder and possessing a firearm during a felony, along with 4 counts of criminal homicide. Now, Ranking is accused of killing 4 people and wounding several others. Now, he was initially jailed on a $2 million bond, but that's been revoked now. Police say they still don't have a motive in the shooting.
Meantime, Tennessee state lawmakers honor the man who rushed to stop the accused gunman at Waffle House. The State House recognized James Shaw Jr. with a resolution yesterday. He wrestled that AR-15 from the suspected killer during the attack at the Waffle House in Antioch on Sunday morning. Well, after a proclamation was read, lawmakers gave him a standing ovation, and here was his reaction.
I don't have a lot to say. I think you all kind of know what perspired when the incident happened. All I can say is this was a true test of a man. I do once again apologize to the people that lost loved ones, friends, or family.
4 people were killed in that shooting. 2 others remain hospitalized with injuries. After the shooting, Shaw began a GoFundMe account for the victims' families. So far, it's raised more than $77,000.
Well, it's a wrap. The jury in Bill Cosby's sexual assault retrial will begin deliberating today. This comes after a day of explosive closing arguments in which Cosby was portrayed first by the prosecution as a calculating predator who was finally being brought to justice, and then used his celebrity status to prey on women, and then by his defense as the victim of a multi-million-dollar frame-up by, quote, a pathological liar. Cosby, of course, faces 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault, each of those carrying up to 10 years in prison. The jury at his first trial deliberated for over 6 days last year without reaching a verdict.
5:11 right now, still ahead. First alert traffic and more on the suspect who police say drove through pedestrians in Toronto and killed 10 people.
And coming up a little later in the hour, hospitals are changing the game for their patients. How choosing the right one for you is soon going to be a whole lot easier. But first, let's take a look outside out there today. It is not a bad day, right, John Scalzi?
Spectacular. You know, it was a beautiful drive-in this morning. Low relative humidity, nice skies. It got a little bit of cloud cover out there, but none of the inclement weather boxes checked for your morning commute. Should be lovely with temperatures in the upper 60s. A few of you may want to wear a light sweater or maybe a jacket, especially in inland locations, but you'll be able to get rid of that pretty easily this afternoon as we hit the mid-70s. Plenty of sunshine around, too, as whatever cloud cover we have dissipates. We'll look for all the airport hubs serving Sarasota International Airport to be running on time at this moment, according to the FAA. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
Setting aside board politics and personal ideologies and really focus on what the board is in place for.
Drama at the Manatee County School Board. Members butting heads, nearly hitting another with a car. Votes for a new chair and vice chair. What's going on? I'm Alan Cohen. Meet me at the principal's office. The trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Now, your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
67 degrees, the air temperature. That's pretty comfortable. What's really delightful is that dew point value coming in at 59. Dew points in the 50s at this time of year. Don't find it too terribly often, so get out there and enjoy it if you can. Today, probably tomorrow as well, although tomorrow we'll probably see dew points climbing back up into the 60s at this hour. And then on Friday, it'll be, I think, pretty muggy again. So we'll look for that northwest wind coming in at about 10. That'll continue on throughout the day, continuing to draw down that cooler, somewhat cooler, drier, certainly drier air over the course of the afternoon. Lots of starshine, but there's also a few fair weather clouds out there. The winds most everywhere are out of the north, and they are generally between about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So the wind's going to be a little bit lighter today, I think, than they were yesterday. For boaters, that's an important thing. We'll watch this little trough of low pressure. You can kind of almost carve it out, how we have this little trough of low pressure in the atmosphere. And because we're on the western side of that trough of low pressure, the rain showers are not going to happen for us today. That drier air filters in. Also, this tan colorization here, again, as I mentioned frequently on our water vapor imagery, the tan is dry air aloft at mid and upper levels. And that's what we have over the state of Florida. A lot of dry air. We have one little plume of moisture that kind of moves across the state, producing that little bit of cloud cover. But the rain showers are all down to the south, as is the frontal boundary, which is now exiting the region. It's producing a few pretty good showers and thunderstorms in the Bahamas, but otherwise we're looking pretty quiet across the region. In fact, a lot of the country is experiencing pretty quiet weather. There are two hot spots, one back to the west, that's a weather maker for us on Friday, and another one moving up the New England coastline. That one is going to produce kind of inclement weather for them, breezy, rainy kind of weather over the course of the day. No rain, no snow showers. We're not seeing any really cold air associated with that one, but it could lead to some airport delays due to low ceilings and such as that from about Washington on up through the tri-state region of New York. And then this low pressure area is one we'll be watching. It advances in this direction. Could produce some stronger storms in parts of the deep south tomorrow. But by the time it arrives on our doorstep Friday, it won't have a lot of energy associated with it. And I don't think we'll get a whole lot out of it, though we will have a slight chance of rainfall. Good news is it'll be out of here by the weekend. So we'll speed up the timetable of those rain showers just a little bit. Sunny and dry today. Small rain chance on Friday, about 20% right now. It looks like it's probably going to be in the daylight hours. And then a dry weekend coming our way, and should be a very nice weekend, just a little bit on the warmer side. 66 by 7 a.m., 70 degrees by 12 noon, 79 by 3, low humidity, sunny, dry, beautiful weather. And then as we head into the evening, about 75 degrees, should be lovely. Forecast for boaters today calls for a moderate chop on your bay and inland waters. And for the rest of us land lovers, we're looking at 79 degrees with, as I mentioned, plenty of sunshine out there. 78 tomorrow. Again, lots of sunshine. As we head into Friday, a little bit warmer, a little bit more humid. Slight chance of rain showers, and then Saturday and Sunday both look good. Take that rain chance off Sunday. And the rest of the week, absolutely fantastic. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Taking a look outside your first alert traffic out there this morning. Roads aren't too bad just yet. Pretty clear at this time of the day. A pretty good morning for your morning commute. In Manatee County, no real blips, just a little bit right there on 301 and 70, but that's pretty normal. We'll show you that in just a moment. In Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad yet either. A little bit busy right there on University Parkway, but that's to be expected around this time of the morning. Most of that in Sarasota actually looks clear around this time of the morning, and if your commute involves going farther south in the area, that will be pretty good so far this morning as well. It is 5:19, and that is your first alert traffic.
Now let's find out why there was some red on the map at 301 and 70.
It's those cones right there. It's the barrels. That is what's causing the congestion.
It's those two cars.
It's those two cars. That's what it takes to be congested on our map.
At this time of the day, yeah. Okay. So there's a live shot.
There you go.
Of one of the busiest intersections in our area. 5:19 right now this morning. We are learning more about the police, about the man that Toronto police believe killed 10 pedestrians on Monday afternoon.
That's right. Alec Manassian is accused of driving a rental van down of one of Toronto's busiest streets and intentionally hitting pedestrians. Andy Rose has more.
Canadian authorities are learning more about the man suspected of mowing down pedestrians Monday afternoon in Toronto.
The accused is alleged to have posted a cryptic message on Facebook minutes before he began driving the rented van.
Police say Alec Manassian's post praised the actions of another who used a vehicle to kill innocent bystanders. The message, "All hail the Supreme Gentleman Elliot Rodger," is believed to reference the man who killed 6 and injured 14 others in a drive-by shooting near a college campus in California in 2014. A former classmate described Manassian as socially awkward and terrified of women. One neighbor described him as quiet and unassuming.
The young man was not a disturbance in the community. I mean, there's no indication that he was a trouble in the community.
The 25-year-old spent just a few months serving in the Canadian Armed Forces last year before he requested to be voluntarily released, and officials say he had no previous run-ins with the law. While officials aren't calling this terrorism, questions remain as to what drove this quiet young man to kill 10 people and injure more than a dozen others.
At this time, we have no reason to suspect that there is any national security element to this attack, but obviously the investigations continue.
I'm Andy Rose reporting.
Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, 2 words we are so familiar with these days: data breach. One of the first companies hit with one has now been issued a massive fine. We'll have that story for you in Tech Bites.
And next half hour, disturbing story about an airline getting some heat now after a family says that an employee tied a woman to a wheelchair. That story on the way. First, a peek outside our window at the Rosemary District. Looking pretty peaceful out there. Should see a high of 79 degrees and sunshine. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Welcome back. Another setback for President Trump's program on certain childhood immigrants, or the DACA program. A federal judge has overruled the Trump administration's plan to end the program for immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. The judge gave the administration 90 days to better explain the reasons behind ending DACA. So far, he called the testimony meager legal reasoning. Tuesday's ruling allows for new enrollees, which could protect thousands of more undocumented immigrants.
Well, back in 2014, Yahoo was hit with a data breach that exposed the personal information of over 500 million of its users, but refused to tell anyone until almost 2016.
Now the company has been hit with a massive fine as a result. Here are today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, the company formerly known as Yahoo is hit with a heavy fine for that big data hack.
Altiva has been ordered to pay $35 million. The SEC ruled the company hid details about the 2014 hack from investors. The breach affected 500 million users. Spotify is giving away more music for free.
Company's redesigned app unlocks some of its premium features. Spotify's 90 million users of its free service are no longer limited to random music selections, but can now choose specific songs from 15 playlists. And this is part of Sweden's new road that charges electric vehicles as they drive on it.
The 2 tracks built into the road function like overhead cables that charge electric trolleys. They say it works in snow and rain. The road is part of Sweden's plan to be free of fossil fuels by 2030.
And those are your Tech Bites.
The day after chemo might mean a trip back to the doctor's office, just for a shot. But why go back there when you can stay home with Neulasta Onpro?
Strong chemo can put you at risk of serious infection, which could lead to hospitalizations. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease. Applied the day of chemo, Neulasta Onpro is designed to deliver Neulasta the next day, so you can stay home. Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to Neulasta or Neupogen, filgrastim. Ruptured spleen, sometimes fatal as well as serious lung problems, allergic reactions, kidney injuries, and capillary leak syndrome have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, or allergic reactions to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
So why go back there? If you'd rather be home, ask your doctor about Neulasta Onpro.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Breaking overnight, the man suspected of shooting 2 police officers at a Dallas Home Depot is now in custody this morning.
I'm live in St. Armand's, where a new parking garage will sit. What businesses are saying about the new addition is straight ahead.
And a change for hospitals, how this could make it easier to choose the right one for you. Those stories this half hour on Good Morning Suncoast.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us. It is Wednesday, April the 25th. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. Tonight is the big best of at Selby Gardens in the area. They were going to have it last night because the projected rain. It was a beautiful night last night after all.
You see, it's that thing when it comes to event planning. If you cancel an event because it might rain, it will then be beautifully sunny. But then if you don't cancel it, then it will rain. It's just like, yes. But I think it's going to be a good time tonight at Selby Gardens.
Move till tonight instead. So here's the forecast for today from John Scalzi.
Yeah, the problem with event planning always is you can't use the latest forecast. You can't. You have to, you have to do it 3 or 4 days in advance, make the decisions, and things change by that time. Richard in Northport comes in with 58 degrees, so kind of a cool start there. And Becky in Old Mayaca has 50 degrees. How about that? Kind of cooler in inland areas, certainly jacket weather there. We had a few passing clouds move through. As I mentioned, those clouds are going to dissipate and leave us with a beautiful starry sky. And in many places right now, you've got that starry sky situation. Gorgeous, gorgeous weather shaping up for us. Back behind that little bit of cloud cover that we had is a lot of blue sky. And we will see as we head into the afternoon, wall-to-wall sunshine. Should be beautiful outdoors this afternoon and evening. With lower relative humidity and rain-free skies, it's going to be a gorgeous day. The rains are all well to the south now. Temperatures across the region generally holding in the 60s, although as I mentioned, we have a few lower temperatures around. As we mentioned, Becky and Old Mayaca, 50 degrees there. We'll top it off today. Cooler than average by a few degrees, but not uncomfortably so, in the upper 70s. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon, John. Checking the roads. First off in Manatee County. Nothing to speak of so far. A little blip there on State Road 70 in the westbound lane just as you get past Interstate 75. Farther south now in the northern half of Sarasota County. Plenty of activity there now in University in both directions around Lockwood Ridge. Be aware of that. Not sure why that's just picked up. Also Bee Ridge in the eastbound lane up by Honore, and then South County, both directions of 41 down by the Northport area. Otherwise pretty clear. Here's a live shot back north there at the 301 State Road 70 intersection. Some construction barrels out there. The light has turned. We can confirm that. 5:32 right now on your Wednesday morning.
Well, it is a story that continues to develop out of Texas. 2 Dallas police officers were critically wounded in a shooting at a Home Depot, and this morning a suspect is in custody. A loss prevention officer at the store was also shot. All 3 victims had surgery late last night. The person of interest is identified as 29-year-old Armando Juarez. He was taken into custody after a police chase that ended just after 9 o'clock last night. Now, that chase ended after Juarez drove through several backyards. Well, if you like going to St. Armand's Circle but don't like spending most of your time circling to find a place to park, there is some good news today. A new parking garage is finally under construction.
They began clearing the site on Monday. Marla Spence is there now with the latest on the construction plans. Marla?
Good morning, guys. There's finally a solution to the parking problem here in St. Armand's. Behind me is where a 4-story, $12 million parking lot will sit. Take a look. This is what the parking garage will look like. It will sit on North Adams Drive. The new parking garage will have enough space for 300 cars. This will add to several on-street parking spaces. The general manager of a St. Armand's business says she is very excited about the new addition. She believes more parking spaces will bring more business to St. Armand's, which could lead to a boost in business.
So many people don't come to the Circle, locals especially. They don't want to come out here during season because there's never anywhere to park. So anything, like I said, that gives us a better ease of shopping is always good for business.
And in 1 month, there will be a groundbreaking for the new parking garage. Construction should be complete and the parking garage should be open to the public right before Christmas. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Exciting news. Thank you, Marla. Happening today, another deployment of the Florida National Guard from Plant City this time. A ceremony is taking place later on this morning at 10:30 at the Armory on the Strawberry Festival grounds. About 30 members of the battalion will be deployed to South Central Asia for a year-long mission in support of Operation Freedom Sentinel. The military deployment will include families, friends, and military leaders. Dozens of other guardsmen left for Southwest Asia from Plant City earlier this year.
Well, a disturbing story this morning when Delta Airlines employees couldn't find a wheelchair with straps to help hold up a disabled woman. They decided to improvise.
Well, now her family is sharing a picture that shows the woman tied to the chair with a blanket. And Taisha Fernandez has our story.
This is Maria Saligas, a woman who has no mobility because 5 years ago she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. On April 1st, she and her husband traveled from Atlanta to Amsterdam on Delta Airlines, and she said Delta staff members tied her to a chair with someone else's blanket. She said the lack of disability services they were promised by Delta is the reason why this photo was taken. Their son, Nathan Saligas, spoke to me on the phone.
I definitely know that they're a good airline. I'm not doubting that at all, but in this specific situation, there was no courtesy, no respect, and there was complete operations failure.
The son said he pre-planned his parents' trip, as he does every year, by making sure Delta staff had the proper chair with several straps for his mother because she cannot sit up in a chair on her own. He said when they landed in Amsterdam, the chair they requested was not available.
They took a dirty blanket and tied her forcefully with it, and she has bruise marks on this part of her arm, which is where it was tied. I want them to show initiative that they're willing to change the disability services.
I spoke to a Delta official on the phone. He sent me a statement that says, "We regret the perception our service has left on these customers. We have reached out to them not only to resolve their concerns, but also to ensure their return flight exceeds expectations."
Now, the family says that Delta offered them 20,000 free Sky Miles, but they still want to see changes to the airline's disability policy.
Well, in this hour's Health Smart, it may get much easier to price shop for your health care.
Hospitals are already required to provide a list of their standard charges, but getting the information is not always that easy. So the Trump administration wants to require hospitals to publish prices for standard services online. They could also be required to give patients better access to medical records and stop billing for unknown services from out-of-network providers. The new rules will take effect next year and mostly apply to Medicare patients and providers. But officials hope the changes will influence others in the U.S. healthcare system to change their policies as well. More information, always better.
Always better, especially when you have to choose, especially when it comes to health care and paying those bills.
Well, those costs are hidden sometimes.
They are.
Oof. 5:37, still ahead, first alert traffic, and...
Well, it is not every day that you are greeted by a robot. And this is pretty cool technology, and how one museum is using it to their advantage.
But first, a peek at Atlanta, Georgia. There's a pretty Ferris wheel in the front right of your picture there. 55 degrees there right now in the capital of Georgia. How goes it here, John Scalzi?
I'm getting you a ticket on that Ferris wheel for Christmas.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're looking at some pretty nice conditions across our region. School bus forecast for you this morning. Well, looks good, actually. Few fair weather clouds, perhaps, but certainly no rainfall. Dry as a bone out there with 68-degree temperature at pickup time. When they drop them off after school, 77 degrees under mostly sunny skies. A 10 out of 10 chance of an outside recess today, and it'll be a nice one with lots of sunshine. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's at FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Nice, cool, 67 degrees out there. Lots of starshine as you head out the door this morning. Absolutely beautiful sky. Check it out. You know, at this time of year, it's sometimes hard to get a nice, clean picture of the sky. But with all that dry air aloft right now, it's pretty out there. Nice, sharp, starry sky. 59 degrees, our dew point value, making it feel pretty comfortable out there. We do have some cooler temperatures, obviously, around the area. In some places, the temperatures are as much as 10 degrees cooler or cooler than the 67 recorded at the airport, which is kind of close to the water. So obviously that has some influence, particularly with the northwest wind flow. The dew point values in inland areas are even cooler. But with that onshore wind flow, obviously you're going to get a little bit warmer right along the immediate coast this morning. 4, 5, 10-mile-per-hour winds are about as much as we're going to see today. I think or at least this morning, as we head into the afternoon, we might catch a little bit of a surge that brings those winds out over frictionless open waters up to about 15 boaters. But other than that, the wind speed should be a little bit less than they were 24 hours ago. That dry air clearly visible on our water vapor imagery coming straight across the Florida peninsula. You'll notice basically kind of a west to east motion here. This is a very weak trough for us at this point, but the trough itself is certainly lifting out of here slowly, so we are on the dry side of the trough. And the rain showers are located well to our south and to our east, and that's the way it's going to be for several more days until another system back to the west, which is producing some showers around the Kansas City, Oklahoma City area, are going to gradually get a little bit closer to us. But the thing is, the center of the low pressure area that provides the energy with this system is going to lift off to the north and to the east away from us, so we don't get much from it. Rain showers in the northeast today, high pressure for us. As we head into Friday, even Thursday night, that high pressure ridge was the axis of it. The center of it is going to be located more over Atlantic waters. So we'll start to see our winds shift a little bit more to the east and maybe even to the southeast, eventually to the southwest on Friday. That's going to return the moisture to our area pretty quickly. There'll be a limited time for that moisture to arrive before the next front does. So consequently, even though the sticky value of the air, the humidity in the air will start to increase just a little bit, that frontal boundary is not going to have a lot to work with, plus it won't have a lot of energy as it moves through our area. So we'll put in a rain chance on Friday, but it's going to be a small one. Sunny and dry today, that little rain chance on Friday, then that front passes by and we get a nice dry weekend. Looks great. Daytime high today tops out probably around the upper 70s. It might hit 80 in some places, but that would be about it. Rain free right straight through the period. Dry conditions through the period as well. 66 degrees by 7 by, as I said, 3 o'clock will be at about 80. So the forecast calls for a northwest wind coming in at about 10 to 15, a little bit less wind than we saw yesterday, but still it takes time for the chop to come down. So we still have a moderate chop out there. 2 to 3 foot seas building a little bit later in the day. And then as we head into the afternoon, we'll look for an 11:15 high tide, 79 degrees today for a daytime high. Tomorrow about the same. Friday, we'll work in that slight chance of a shower with a daytime high of about 80 and a little bit more humidity around. The frontal boundary comes through probably by evening. At this point, I would say Friday evening's looking pretty good. And then as we get through Saturday and Sunday with beautiful sunny skies, maybe a little more cloud cover on Sunday, the beginning of next work week also looks fine, but significantly warmer than we're going to see today by about 10 degrees. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic out there this morning. If you're in Manatee County this morning, the roads aren't running too bad. We do have some slowdowns right there on Cortez between 41 and the Bayshore area right in there. Just some slowdowns that we're starting to see already. 301 and 70, as we'll show you throughout the morning show. It is already a little congested around this time of the morning. And then in Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad just yet. Not any too real big major blips right there, but University Parkway is already starting to see some slowdowns, as is Fruitville as you approach the 301 interchange right there. A little bit farther south in the area, if you're heading to Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda, most of the roads in that area are looking pretty decent. 41 is still looking pretty good around this time of the morning so far. If we can go a little bit farther or not. So we'll wrap it up. That is your first alert traffic at 5:47.
And speaking of traffic, this.
It's traffic.
Yeah, this is
traffic.
This is a road.
This is traffic 101.
Murfield Drive at 45th Street East. That looks a lot like State Road 70 and 301. So Nadine, let me ask you, is that State Road 70 and 301, or is that Murfield Drive and 45th Street? I'm going to go with my gut on this one and say that is actually 301 and 70.
All right, well, you are the traffic master, so we're going to go with that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Like that.
Speaking of traffic, construction is also causing a major road problem on 10th Street right now. City workers are digging up the road between Central and Coconut Avenues. They're blocking the westbound lanes, in fact. They're installing what's called a nutrient separating baffle box.
There are so many words I'm not grasping in that.
A quiz will follow. It deals with stormwater runoff before it goes into Sarasota Bay. So you see this project in the middle of the street here in 10th. It's actually all to do with the bay off there in the distance. I shot this myself yesterday. It's just a few hundred yards from Sarasota Bay. It's the final stage of the 10th Street Boat Basin dredging project.
All right. Well, the next time that you visit one of these Smithsonian museums in Washington, you may be greeted by a robot.
You actually did it.
I did it.
You said you were going to do it, and you did it.
That's right. You owe me like 20 bucks.
That's worth it. Mike Carter-Canine explains how history is now going high-tech.
Meet Pepper, the newest employee at the Smithsonian. Now the first museum complex to use Pepper robots to enhance the visitor experience.
You walk around the museum and you have to read the things about sculptures and things, so I think this helps getting good interaction.
Pepper can tell stories, pose for pictures, and dance. It answers frequently asked questions.
Where are the bathrooms?
Oh, right. Humans need bathrooms.
Another popular question, is Pepper a boy or a girl?
It is one of the most frequently asked questions.
The Smithsonian says the robot has no assigned gender.
Would you like to know more?
When people see Pepper, their faces light up and they just smile, and there's always a crowd.
Pepper is programmed for each exhibit. At the African Art Museum, it teaches basic Swahili.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
SoftBank Robotics donated 25 peppers to the Smithsonian, valued at $25,000 each. But curators say the 4-foot-tall robots won't be everywhere, and they won't replace docents or volunteers.
Like any other technology, whether it's a tablet or a video or a virtual reality experience, we're always trying to figure out how we can use new tools to engage people.
This is a pilot program. The Smithsonian plans to deploy robots to more museums in June.
Well, the 7th planet in our solar system apparently reeks of bad gas. That's right. This is your science report this morning. A new report has confirmed that the planet Uranus smells like rotten eggs. That is right. The study by the University of Oxford suggests that clouds in the planet's atmosphere are composed of hydrogen sulfide. Now this, of course, is the chemical compound that makes rotten eggs smell so bad. That's the reason behind that stink. Scientists uncovered the foul-smelling details with a reading from NASA's Gemini telescope. That one, of course, is based in Hawaii.
I'm glad you read that one.
I win today.
Let's take a live shot at the White House right now. Last night, a state dinner, the first one, in fact, since the president took office.
That is right, with the French president, he and his wife, as well as President Trump and Melania. They hosted that. They had all kind of dignitaries and celebrities that showed up, and first state dinner last night.
Somebody is up having milk there in the top right corner.
Well, they're either up early or still up from last night.
Yeah, there it is. All right, let's wipe now to the Rosemary District. A little more exciting. There's a shot of the skyline from the downtown area. A little green van just drove on the picture. Pretty shot there. It's 5:51. We should see a high today in the 80s, and you're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you this morning on the Suncoast.
Police in Dallas arrested a man for a shooting at a Home Depot. There he is. The incident left two officers, and one worker injured.
Plus, a jury begins deliberating today in the case of Bill Cosby's sexual assault trial. After some powerful closing arguments yesterday, the comedian and actor is facing up to 10 years in prison if he's found guilty.
And Manatee County School Superintendent will go to Jacksonville next month to interview for the top job in Duval County. Diana Green is one of 6 finalists for a superintendent in the Jacksonville area.
Coming up in the next hour, former President H.W. Bush garnered some attention over the weekend for a piece of unusual attire. We're going to have the man behind that attire and the story for you in the next hour.
Man behind the socks. All right,
That's
first,
right.
last peek at the weather this hour, John Scalzi?
Absolutely. We're looking at a beautiful allergy forecast for you today. Slightly lower in numbers today. We're at medium category at 5.8. And the good news is tomorrow it gets even lower. Grasses are back in the forecast, though, over the next several days. And recent rains have allowed the drought indexes to dip yesterday, but now they are back up thanks to a little bit of drier air that has filtered in both Charlotte and Lee County. We're looking at the very high category. Back to you.
Thank you, John. When it comes to Argyle socks, I think John is more likely than me to wear silly socks like that.
I think so, yeah. We'll go with that.
He'll wear,
that right?
He'll wear Christmas socks.
Right. I just go commando. I'm a no sock kind of lady. That's right.
Stay with us. More news after this.